there is a GM update. It seems like we are getting closer to a decision. Right now, it seems that we're down to the final three candidates. That will be Matthew Darche, Danny Briere, and Kent Hughes. Now, Kent Hughes, Friedman, I think, reported last night on 32 Thoughts that or Merrick did, sorry, decision time for Kent Hughes. They need to know if if he's serious about this job. What do you think, like, of these three candidates? You have very different, I'd say you have very different candidates. One's a player agent who very much knows the business side of the game. You have Danny Briere, who has been in the ECHL for the last 2 or 3 years. And, he's has a grip of, I guess, how the GM side works, but it's still, I think you'd say he lacks that experience. And you have a guy like Matthew Darche, who has been working in the Tampa Bay Lightning organization for a few years, especially under Julian Breezebine. I believe he was there for both cups. So he's been a part of a very successful organization. Is there any of them that really stand out to you?
I think for me, it's Matthew Darche, and he is a hot commodity because he also got interviewed by the Ducks.
Right.
So I think he's someone that a lot of teams that are in need of a new GM are viewing as, this is a guy, winning mentality. He has the experience already. And I think that there's not too much you want to do with him because he knows what he's doing already. I think Danny Briere is a really smart hire, but not as a GM. I think it's going to be like a political candidate convention where he's going to lose out on it, but whoever becomes the GM, I think, should bring him in as at least an assistant general manager, to have someone in the system who knows the team, who knows the players, who's been around, is, from what I've heard, is quite a likable guy in the Montreal community. With Kent Hughes, it's a guy where it's like the most logical next step in his career from what he's been able to do already. And I think that if you really want to go for that fundamental change of, let's see what happens and let's do something new, I think that would be the type of hire Kent Hughes would be.
Yeah, no, I think you're spot on. I do agree with you with Matthew Darche. I think in terms of, if you look at the candidates, I'd also prefer Matthew Darche. I believe Adam as well. But I think you make a good point there. And Engels also reported that that we should expect a couple of the others who were interviewed to possibly land jobs with the club. And I think that makes sense in terms of, you look at a guy like Danny Briere, who we mentioned is working in the ECHL. If you bring him on as an assistant general manager who would per se run the Laval Rocket, like, you're giving him that experience to maybe one day take over. Who knows? But I think you have, the Montreal Canadiens, I think, did a really smart thing in interviewing a diverse group of candidates in terms of, like, their experience and what they've done, from a lot of experience to maybe not so much experience in terms of running a hockey club. And I think what that does is it allows you to bring in guys. You can bring in the most experienced guy as your general manager, but fill in around with guys with guys and girls who you've also interviewed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I completely agree with that. Where it's not like, I think that's the big thing we think about. It's just like, it's not just the one guy or one person you're going to look at there. It's going to be kind of like that team mentality moving forward, or what Jeff Gordon wants to do with the new management team and how he wants to set things up for there.